We here again. Camera doing the thing. Why are you like this? Camera's always like this, and I do not know why. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta mess with the camera a little bit. This camera's so weird sometimes, honestly. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's just weird. But hi everybody, happy Friday. I hope the day was restful and or productive for y'all. It feels like it's been a minute since I've seen everybody. No, we were just streaming Sunday. But it feels like, for whatever reason, it feels like it's been a while since the last Friday stream. IDK. Shit's weird. Yeah, January. It's been about 2 weeks since the last fighting fight. Okay, it wasn't my imagination. Because I know, like, between being sick and everything, like, I have no clue how many times I've actually streamed on Friday this month. Completely lost in the sauce. No clue. So, all that said, so, a couple of things. Good news and some things just to let people know. Well, all I know is January's felt like 2,000 years, time is fake. Yes. Oh right, I need to go post go lives in other spots. I completely forgot about what this is how you can tell I am off my game. Like, I posted my go live on Blue Sky. I posted my go live on Black Sky, and then I completely forgot to, like, do the thing. Alright, now this thing. It's up here. Alright. Should be good now. We need to be careful to not accidentally kick. Lol. I need to be careful to not accidentally click into a chat where I don't need to be right now and accidentally put people on stream. Anyway. Oh, Nightbot just did that weirdly. But yeah, hi everybody. It's good to see everyone. Street Fighter 6. We're here. We're doing the thing. Alex comes out in mid-March. Not only have they turned this man basically into a heel, he also has a theme. Well, he also has a theme song by fucking Jam Project. And Kenny Omega, like the wrestler Kenny Omega, did a bunch of mocap for a lot of Alex's moves, including one of the alternate animations for one of his super arts is apparently one of Kenny Omega's finishers. So it's funny because Kenny Omega himself was actually in the trailer for this season of Street Fighter 6 DLC. Have I finished heavyweight? Yeah. Obviously, not Savage, but yes, I have done. Yeah, I've done heavyweight already. Yeah, I can't do Savage rating because I just literally do not have the time. Um, there is not an hour left that I can think of where I could do it in theory, but I have done I've done normal and finished it all. It's cool. I was wondering. I think it was really good. The ending. The ending. I didn't mind it. I understand why other people minded, like some other people that I know minded it. But in the overall, I think it was a very cool theme for a raid series. The ending, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel of two minds about it, in the sense of I understand why people disliked it, but also, yeah, like if you see me like doing this as the answer, it's because I'm just like, yeah, if you see me doing like this, mostly just assume that it's like me going, I love how it's absolutely no stakes, but that allowed them to make it have really high stakes. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. But yeah. Mhm. So yeah, we should roll. We should probably up and roll, huh? Hey, it's the matter. It's fun. We can play world shit. Let's go. Yeah, I don't want to get too into people who haven't played heavyweight yet, so that's why I'm being kind of like vague in terms of like how in terms of details. But the general vibe of it is right. Is I think the general vibe of it is all right. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about the ending. I think I have to ruminate on that one a little bit more. But I don't dislike it, but I understand why people have a feeling about it. It's nice to know that kayfabe is alive and well in the words. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Mojo. So yeah, I'm gonna go link the community page for Alex's thing, and then read it with y'all because I think it's important that we talk about this for a second. I just need to unplug and replug. As a consequence of something that I'm testing with Shootlander, I have to have I have to have basically two controllers plugged in almost all the time now because the thing that I'm testing with Shootlander requires that I have to have two. So thankfully, all I really have to do now is just like unplug and replug. I just have to unplug and replug my arcade stick because it's usually already plugged in, so I don't have to go sorting out where it is. All right, we're gonna leave you in the back. Hey, Shiny. Let's see here. Library. Oh yeah, I also finally went ahead and read the developer's backyard for Guilty Gear Strive because I was curious about some stuff with 2.0. Hey, Rigel. And to anybody lurking, also hello. So, yeah, including like Cosmo and anybody I didn't say hello to. The Code Vein 2 character creator demo was out, but they did black people really dirty with the way that the skin colors look. So I'm going to try it again, but I'm not very enthused about that. Guilty Gear Strive, I was looking at the developer's backyard from December, and at least according to what they said in the backyard, when they launched Strive 2.0, they're only planning on putting one character in with the launch of it. I am really, and like they're adding more moves to certain other characters, not everybody so far that I can tell, but like Soul and a couple other people. It better be jam. If they release Strive 2.0 and it's RoboCop, like basically so I know I've been talking about this vaguely, right? But in broader terms, the reason why I haven't been playing anything aside from Street Fighter 6 really is mostly because the reason why I haven't really put in so here's the link for that for y'all to read along with me, and then let me see if I can get a window here that isn't going to be too dangerous. I love how in the backyard, regarding balance from an interview from a few months ago, or an interview at a kid, like, was there data that's supposed to Twitter feedback with how overflowing it is, and it lets pot. I mean, yeah, Potemkin deserves it, honestly. As much as, like, I also joke about, like, oh god, grapplers, one fear, etc. Personally, like, I'm of the opinion primarily that, you know, I think it's okay, honestly. He works very hard, he deserves it. Okay. So, let's take a look. I turned off the sound, I think, so we're not going to get any sound if I watch the video. If you want to watch the video, it will be over here, but I would prefer to just go over, most because I don't know if it'll get, like, struck or whatever. Here's the video if you want to watch it, but we're going to just kind of go over it text-wise. So, as someone who rocks Shotos and Shoto adjacents, I love to think Rushdown plays babies, let the grapplers have fun. I am 34, thank you very much. I am not a baby. Anyway, I'm fucking around. So, as our summary text here says, Alex is supposed to be... Alex, for people who don't know Street Fighter at all, Alex is, or at least was intended to be, the protagonist of Street Fighter 3 when it first released. But people back then were really kind of like, Street Fighter 3, what are you doing, Capcom? Stinky face. So, like, Street Fighter 3's characters and everything really only get love in retrospect, in particular. So Alex was supposed to be kind of like the head of the sort of new generation that was being heralded by Street Fighter 3. So he's like the protagonist of, like, New Generation, which was the first division of Street Fighter 3. As it says here, Alex was raised by his mentor Tom, who was the daughter of Patricia. After being challenged to his fair share of street fights, he now works as a pro wrestler who's awaiting his next reason to fight, whatever that may be. So with the way that, like, the Street Fighter timeline sort of turned out and around, it's very interesting, because Street Fighter 5, we saw Alex as, like, purportedly even more fresh-faced than he is in Street Fighter 3. And then in Street Fighter 3, and, like, now with Street Fighter 6 taking place after Street Fighter 3, he has, you know, had some time. to kind of like mature a bit. All the time on the streets have made Alex's moves quite the spectacle, but now with his pro wrestling career, he's incorporated new moves into his routine. We're talking a scary new stance, over 10 throws, and moves that transition into others. Oh, and he's no longer a charge character. So, what does this mean? For people who do not know what is up with fighting games, you can do FGC glossary and go to the fighting game glossary. Yeah, Rigel. I look pretty good for 34, right? I have the face for it, don't I? Anyway. Babyface. If I shaved, yeah. If I shaved, especially. Mostly the way that you can tell is that if you like look at my, like, the bags under my, like the way that, like how my eyes look and how baggy they are when I get like sleepy, that's how you can tell that I'm older than I look, by my perspective anyway. But yeah, a charge character in this context. So if you look at the arcade stick that's here, right? Normally with most characters in fighting games, not all fighting games, but in most fighting games that are sort of a little more traditional, you execute special moves and stuff by usually doing like a motion like quarter circle forward and punch or kick or what have you, right? Charge characters, on the other hand, like Guile, require you to hold a certain direction for a period of time, then press another direction and a button in order to do special moves. So like Guile, for example, his Sonic Boom is back, forward punch, his flash kick is down, up kick, so on and so forth, right? Alex was mostly a charge character with one 360-degree command throw and a 720-degree command throw. We don't know what his commands look like at present because we don't have his move. We don't have like his move list explicated for us yet. Capcom probably won't release it for a little while. But I think maybe he did have Flash Chop. Like Flash Chop wasn't a charge move, but like Slash Elbow I think was like Slash Elbow, his Stampede Stomp, and a lot of like his Stampede Stomp and a lot of his other moves were either, if they weren't a 360 or a motion input like Flash Chop was, they were all charge moves. Not so much the case anymore. So his air grab was a DP motion. Yeah, so he was sort of more like a hybrid character more than like a straight up full charge character. But yeah, so it looks like what they've done as far as Flash Axe, that was not a move that he had in the older Street Fighter games. Oh right, I forgot. We are still doing the Winter Rent Drive. Winter Rent Drive closes February 1st. I have started the new position that I was talking about previously, which I don't get paid until the 1st of February. So I don't get paid until I'm not, as far as I'm aware, I get paid the 1st of February. So up until that point, any assistance that y'all can give as an extra cushion for when that comes in would be really helpful. Because otherwise, I will be okay, but things will be tight. So anything that you can offer in that particular sense would be very helpful. If you can't donate, pass the link on. That'd be helpful. We've reached pretty much everything except for the Shadow Hearts milestone, and that's if we manage to fill the whole thing out. So, but before I forget, let me continue with what I was saying. So Flash Axe for Alex is new. It looks like basically what they've decided to do is the same sort of thing that has happened with a couple other characters, where the light and medium versions of certain attacks that they have are a little bit different from the heavy version. Traditionally, he only ever had Flash Chop. So Flash Axe is a fireball input, light and medium punch. So it's 236 L, LP, or MP. So like this, basically. So his fireball So if you do like a Hadouken motion with light or medium, you get flash axe. Light version is great combo ender and safe on block. Medium version can transition into Prowler stance, which is also new, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then this Flash Chop itself. So Flash Chop, traditionally Alex has used it to deal, I think it's either Flash Chop or Slash Elbow that he's used traditionally to deal with fireballs normally. I don't know if he still has Slash Elbow or not. We'll have to see. But Flash Chop, traditionally, when you hit with like the heavy version, it causes, like it says, a turnaround. And then when you use something like Power Bomb on a back turn opponent when they're turned around, Alex then gets unique throw stuff. That is kind of the same. We're not switching to this game's music. No. Because we're talking about I hope Alex is drinking water because that man has no body fat. It's Street Fighter. That par for the course unless they're deliberately doing somebody more heavy set. Aerial Knee Smash is also returning from his previous incarnations. It's probably like DP motion and kick. Light medium versions don't hit standing opponents but are quick. Heavy version isn't too great as an anti-air but can be comboed into and also hit standing opponents. OD version comes out fast and will result in a hard knockdown. Yeah, traditionally, as far as I remember, Aerial Knee Smash has never had a version that hits grounded opponents, so this is also a good change. Here's a big one. Very important here. Power Bomb. Alex's main command throw. So, Power Bomb basically works the same way that Zangief's SPD, as well as, well, sort of. In terms of damage, right? Unlike Zangief's SPD or even Lily's command throw, which I can't remember right now because my brain is empty as hell. They don't do more damage with the heavier versions, with the button that you press. The range, however, does change the way that it does for Zangief and Lily. So, light version has the most range, but it's the slowest one. Heavy version has the least range, but it's the fastest. Like we were saying before, if your opponent has their back to you and you do Mexican Typhoon is what it's called. Mexican Typhoon. I couldn't remember for a second, now I remember it came back to me. Is Lily's. Anyway, if you catch somebody with Power Bomb while their back turned to you from Flash Chop, it's into the Power Drop, which is more damage and switch sides. This is interesting. If the OD version of Power Bomb grabs an opponent from behind and you hold forward, it'll transition to Hyper Bomb, increasing damage and allowing you to select which side you end on. So, I say this is interesting because Hyper Bomb used to be one of Alex's super moves. So, in this tradition of how Street Fighter likes to demonstrate that its characters have grown stronger, moves that would have been super moves at some point are now OD moves, right? Now, here's the major new thing for him. And look at that, his theme even came on. Prowler stance. This is new. This is what they were saying now in Alex, about saying Alex is a stance character. So if you do like medium flash axe, if you do medium flash axe, OD flash chop, at the very least, and possibly other moves as well, Alex goes into this Prowler stance. He can't block, but it has 11 different follow-ups, only some of which they're talking about here. So, Prowler stance, heavy punch. Alex does a lariat, which is plus on block and has armor if you hold it. It also turns the opponent around upon counter hit. So you do Prowler stance, counter hit, heavy lariat. That's power drop or hyper bomb, right? Prowler light kick is tactical hop, a quick hop where you can follow up with any aerial attack. So now he has like a stance short hop. If you do medium kick instead, you get air stampede. Stampede used to be one of his special moves, so it looks like they turned it into just a Prowler stance follow-up. From Prowler stance, if you land a target combo, if you land a sweep combination target combo, a hyper takedown throw, or a dangerous armbar throw as a punish counter, you'll transition into flying suplex, Death Valley bomb, and spiral DDT. Alex's SA1 is Raging Spear, so he has a spear for his Super Art 1. Unlike, for example, Viper, his is invincible on startup strikes and throws, not the projectiles. So it's like Ryu's, it's basically like a spear tackle version of Ryu's Shinku Hadoken or Kemi's Spin Drive Smasher. Alex's Super Art 2, Sledge Cross Hammer, is a lariat. If it hits an airborne opponent, it can wall splat, has some projectile invulnerability. SA3, as all SA3s are, completely invulnerable. Yeah, Alex is the projectile. And then yeah, we also have Alex's classic third, like Street Fighter 3 outfit. And yeah, again, I cannot emphasize enough, Jam Project got up and said, let's make a theme for Alex. That's wild. And here is the thing I was talking about. Kenny Omega's motion capture for Alex was used for this. If you get OD power drop, and you have the meter for another Super Art 2, you get the Omega Wing Buster, and done deal. So yeah, Alex is coming out on St. Patrick's Day. And so the only character that will be left after him, so it looks like it's basically, and his announcement was the 20, his announcement was like yesterday, the 22nd, so it looks like basically the cadence is roughly around 2 months or so. So from when they're announced. So Ingrid, I would expect maybe closer to June, July, maybe. Because we might hear something in April, maybe, or possibly May. And then that leaves us like June, July, possibly going into August, I would imagine. But that's me, I'm spitballing. Yeah, probably after Combo Breaker at the least. Whenever Combo Breaker is happening this year. So yeah, that's the general overview of Alex. I am not going to be playing him, not because I think he's bad or anything, but because I'm not going to lie and say I don't play grapplers, because we all know that's a lie. Before I had to retire, King of Fighters 15 and everything like that, we all saw I was playing Vice. Like, so it's not as like, oh, I don't play grapplers, but it's like Alex is not the type of grappler that I'm interested in, really. Yeah, I know we can't see the game. Hold on, I gotta remember where my game window is.
Street Fighter 6.
They just gotta be a caked up redhead is what you see. Oh, hush. Anyway, I'm purely ripping you, know. I know. I'm still allowed to say, "Oh, hush." I'm allowed. You can't tell me I'm not allowed. Don't harsh my groove. New fighting passes here. That's really mean of them. Tease with Mika and Karin and Ibuki. Honestly, knowing our luck, I feel like season 4, because let me think. How have we done it here? This year has been Sagat, Viper, Alex, Ingrid. So we got a pretty good mix overall, I want to say. Yeah, let me take a look and let me think this out here. Because yeah, so DLC. Thankfully, the way that they've arranged this, it's very easy to tell who's in what season of DLC. So Rashid, Aki, Ed, and Akuma were all season 1. Bison, Harry, Mai, and Elena were all season 2. So as far as returning characters go, as far as the first 2 seasons, so out of the first 2 seasons, out of 8 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first 2 seasons. We've had 5 returning characters, 3 new characters, 2 of whom are guest characters. And then if we want to count other returning characters, technically speaking, this is complicated a little bit, in my opinion, in the sense of season 3, because we have 3 returning characters in Sagat, Viper, and Alex, obviously. But with Ingrid, it kind of depends on how you feel, because Ingrid has technically never been in a mainline Street Fighter game that was not a re-release of a previous game. Ingrid has been playable in precisely 2 games that I can remember. Only 2. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, which is a re-release of Street Fighter Alpha 3, and Capcom Fighting Jam. Or Capcom Fighting Evolution, whatever. I keep thinking of Capcom Fighting Jam because I just do. Those are the only 2 released games that Ingrid has ever been playable in. Or Ingrid is ever in a good game if you want to be mean about it. Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with Alpha 3 Max. I didn't warm up at all, and I'm going to get fucking cooked. Yeah, I forgot that that's a setup. That's fair. Yeah, nah. There's nothing right about Alpha 3 Max either. Okay, yes, it has like Yun and Eagle and it's got Yun, Eagle, Maki, and Ingrid in it as playable characters. Plus. Oops. Nope. Missed the timing just a little. I'm probably dead. Yeah. But anyway. So yeah, Ingrid is technically a newcomer, depending on how you want to like rate whether or not you want to count Alpha 3 Max as her being in a mainline game. Yeah, I gotta be careful with Luke. Yep. Oh, huh. I didn't even know that one of his ODs had that option, actually. Suppressor. Good throw. Nope. Too slow. Woo! 6 is probably going to be a lot of people's first impression of Ingrid, especially since yeah, I'm interested to see because I sort of know how Ingrid plays, but I'm sort of interested to see how they change it because I'm pretty sure we're going to get a couple of things that are a little different. Yeah, good OD. Nope. Perfect. 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 Run strike. Yep. He might get out of burnout by then. We'll have to see. Memphis. Alright. Nah, I shouldn't have pressed the button there. What happened was I tried to jab after getting hit by a drive rush normal, and you shouldn't do that. As a reminder for people who have not been, because it's been a little while, if somebody does a drive rush and they throw a normal and you block that normal, that's +4. It gets +4 added on to whatever frame data it had. So a lot of moves that are either only mildly unsafe to begin with on block can become plus on block if you do them out of a drive rush. Very much a lol, I shat on your fun just now kind of deal. Ooh. Yeah, good response. Nope. Ocho throw. Yeah, that's my fault. Um,
Round two. Fight.
I'm trying to be a little bit careful about how I respond because this is a modern Honda. So, depending on... Depending on what buttons I press and how this Honda responds, if I'm not careful, I'll get hit with like a Super Art 1 or Super Art 2, or even like an OD when I'm not expecting it. So I need to be a little bit circumspect about the way I do certain things. Nope. Oops. There we go. So my plus 22 years, long time, a lot of room for reinterpretation. Yeah. So Ingrid's whole thing is that she has projectiles that she throws in arcs as well as a shield type attack that she can use for counters and like a twirling ballerina spin. Oops. Here's some beef. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Like, headbutts for Honda can be a surprisingly effective anti-air tool if you use them correctly. And also if you space them correctly like that. That happens. Yeah, like that is why I've been trying to be careful, because modern Honda can do that kind of stuff on reaction. It's very easy for him to do that, and I need to be very deliberate about like not getting fucking caught by that. Ooh, I didn't drop it. And most importantly, I didn't go overkill on what I needed to get the kill. Hey Miriam, and thank you. Oi, chode. Oi. Alright, let's see. How have you been? It has been a minute, I think. Happy New Year, because I don't think we have seen each other in the New Year that I can remember. Nope. Messed that up. Sometimes I keep forgetting that this is not Street Fighter 5. I cannot do that. No, I'm not fucked. It hurts, but I'm not done. We'll see. Fuck me. Yeah, if I had not done drive parry, I might have been able to jump that, but I'm not entirely sure if I would have reacted in time. Dude, I just played a bunch of Accent 4 plus R in the lobby today. Yeah, got my zap ignorance, as one does. As one does. Right, I think OD slap is plus on block. Kill throw. Yeah, modern yeah. Yeah, it should be cooked here. Huh, yeah. I'm not sure if it's just a ton of a thought of modern players kind of freeze when you want. Yeah, because they're used to people. Oops. Depending on the modern player, I shouldn't say this as if all modern players are exactly the same, but because they're used to people trying to like bull their way through, it's because they're used to people like trying to like bully them down before like stuff happens, and they're generally not used to like people kind of like taking their time. I want to say this will kill, but I'm not sure. Maybe if it wasn't Honda. I don't need to rush now. For what? No. Like, why am I rushing? Like, I had to be careful to make sure I didn't give up too much ground, but it's like, I had the life lead. I had no reason to rush. I'm chilling. But yeah, I do agree. Modern Honda is really stressful because it's very easy for him to do any of his super arts he can do in response to you doing something you really shouldn't be doing. Oicho's coming out a lot easier for modern Honda than they do for classic Honda. Is also really stressful because it means that like you drive parry in the wrong spot, oops, lol, you eat shit. It is. It is incredibly stressful. Modern Honda is very worrisome. It also, in his case, doesn't hurt that he has a lot of still really good defensive buttons in Modern, even when they like have to condense down the ones that he has. So it's still very, very Honda-y of him to be able to control space and otherwise like stress you the fuck out. Much like Bison does. Bison is not one for a lot of mobility in terms of just like normally moving around, but if he's got meter for drive rush, or if the Bison you're fighting understands how to use head stomp or slide or scissor kick, then it becomes very difficult to kind of like move around him. However, the fortunate thing is mostly that Bison, unless he has meter, has shit for reversals. So, god damn it, Bison has shit for reversals unless he has meter for super. So if he doesn't have meter for super, or if the Bison is really desperate to not use meter for whatever reason, you kind of get away with bullying him. But you have to be careful about like yeah, like all he really needs is like given like half the opportunity to either catch you with scissor kicks at the right time, or a head stomp or a good slide or whatever, followed by the right meaty setup, you kind of eat shit. Good use of the Psycho Crusher to force me to the corner. Yeah, and if he hits you with a scissor kick, then it's like, alright, now you gotta guess. Oh, nope, wrong one. Bad call on my part. I guess for the corner carry it makes sense. Good throw. Oh, unfortunate. They've been spacing the slides really well, and that was just the one time where they didn't. Yep. There we go. So yeah, unfortunately that Bison, mostly, I understand why they were trying to be careful, because it's one of those things where, like, with Cammy in particular, if you're playing as Bison, because as Bison, you have to just, if Cammy gets on top of you, you have to burn meter to get her off. You have to burn super meter in order to get her off of you. I understand why they were trying to be cautious, but they also weren't holding the aggressive enough. Because the main thing is that Bison, if he can bully you, wrong button. If he can bully you, then it becomes very difficult for you to work it back, because so many of his buttons are really plus or really oppressive. If the Bison player does not get to establish that, they have a hard time. Gonna do it? Nope. Yep, me. Yeah, good call. Yeah, I gotta be careful. There we go. Because the thing about Sagat also has like a bullying, oppressive, normal, and slow movement kind of thing going for him. The main thing is mostly that Bison has ways of repositioning himself incredibly quickly. Yeah, Bison has ways of repositioning himself incredibly quickly. Sagat does not, but that's why Sagat has even more range as a consequence. Like, there are ranges that Sagat can hit you from that will make you go, that will literally make you wonder how his hitboxes are set up. But like, he kind of needs it because otherwise, like, Sagat is not a fast character. Yep, fair. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Don't want to spend too much butter. Yeah, I was too short. I don't think this is going to kill. As much as I would like it to. Damn. The guy also really needs like a drive rush or a counter hit for his lows to be really threatening. Otherwise, it's kind of just whatever. No. Ooh, thank goodness. It's not going to kill, but it's deliberately to put a little bit of pressure on the drive gauge. It's probably plus as fuck. There we go. Made it work. So yeah, Sagat. So because Sagat is now super mobile, that's why his range is even. He plays the bullying game the way that like Bison does, but the main thing is that you really have to understand Sagat's spacings in order to really make that work. It's like now we see some of it, right? Like now I'm in the corner and I'm getting fucking rocked by Sagat normals. There we go. I may not have enough. Yeah. If I'd had a little more health, I could have hit that back and killed him, but lost too much in some of the exchanges earlier. But yeah, like Sagat tagging me with oops. And yeah, I'm not dead, but it hurts. Oof, we made it. Brought that back by the skin of my teeth. Nah, that's boss. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Alright. Ooh. Thank goodness I remembered that has a hole in it, because otherwise I would have gotten fucked up. That's plus. So yeah. And you also sort of see the other consequence of like the fact that like Sagat's normals are made for bullying. Like, you'll notice that because I was blocking so many of them, like my drive gauge is all kinds of fucked up. Hesitated a little bit too long, so it got a launch instead of Pyro. Ooh! Thank God I had enough meter. And I wasn't holding the... If I had been holding like down or down back before doing that drive rush, I would have been fucked. But I had just enough meter to give the most expensive answer in response to that on reflex. Just enough. We take those. But yeah, like, the thing I was saying beforehand is that I was blocking Sagat a bunch, and y'all saw my drive gauge was getting fucked up. Bison is very much the same, but Bison has more movement options. Speaking of movement options, Kimberly has several. Let's see how I get messed up, because Kimberly players that like actually have been paying attention to their stuff are really good at pressure. No. Yeah, there you go. Bushin beats. Heads up. You gotta stop trying to do that. It doesn't work on me. I mean, not that I've never been hit by that, but like the over/under on me getting hit by me getting hit by spring kick is extremely low. It's not that it never happens, but it very rarely happens, if at all. I either stuff it, or I hit it on reaction. Oops. Good throw. Yeah. The thing about this Kimberly is that their spacing is very careful, for the most part. I don't remember if Kim on buff is about as fast as Cammy or not. But she is still pretty tricky to get a hold of. Nope. Yeah, Senpu. Senpu. So yeah, like... really strong Kimberly players can work around the fact that she has to spend meter for a reversal. And mostly... with the way that you compensate for that with Kimberly is that, like, if people jump, you hit them with Bushin Senpu if you can get the timing right. And it's a lot about, like, spacing and how you sort of, like, space things out. That's how she kind of, like, deals with that whole thing. Ooh. Unfortunately, neither of those was the perfect parry, which gave me the time to punish. One of the major changes that happened in a previous season of Street Fighter 6 is that they have greatly increased the they've increased the amount of time that you are forced to recover from a parry attempt, which means that, like, oh, I could have killed. I messed up. Because if I'd done... yeah, I could have killed. And I wasn't thinking about it. This is not ideal. Stop it! Made it work. But, like, whenever Kimberly gets Super Art 3, whether, even if she doesn't, like, hit you with it, if she executes it successfully, then she gets a damage and movement buff for the rest of the match. Oops. unfortunate for them that they tried to sweep there. Yeah, and that's why it's kind of like dangerous. Oh, Jin Kyak, wall splat. So yeah. Yeah, so like basically once Kim has the chance to like do this kind of stuff, she is very dangerous. I should have just asserted it a little. It would have been fine. Probably. Yeah, I could throw. And while she does have... While Kim does have some interesting range on some of her normals, by no means is she, like, without the ability to poke. You just have to, like, know which things you can poke with. I'm in the corner now. Nope. Oh, Jin Kyak. You're gonna do S8. You should... Okay, scramble. Fair. Probably to keep a better corner position. Yeah, and then I got... Oh. Yeah, basically, any position where Kim gets to, like, drive rush at you after a block normal is a difficult situation for you to be in, and ideally you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in that position against her because usually her drive rush is pretty solid. So it's one of those things where like, oh yeah, Kimberly tagged you the normal. She got an opportunity to drive rush. Depending on what normal it is, you now have to try to gamble against strike throw. Good luck. It is one of the things that people don't like about this game, and I do understand. I do understand why people dislike that. Good throw. So. Ryuembu, Shinobi Bachi, for the corner carry. Good throw. Yeah, you can't do that twice. I respect that you tried, but like, no. A little risky there. I was gambling that they might block the standing heavy punch and then get splatted. No. You gotta be careful when you charge those fans. Yeah. You gotta be careful against Mai's crouching medium punch because that button is really good at frame trapping. You gotta be really careful against like that little elbow. It is extremely good for frame trapping. And it's also very good as like a button for punishing that's the word I'm looking for. It's really good as like a counter poke in certain situations also. Not as good as some of Mai's other buttons, but like no, you need to stop doing that. No, why'd I do that? Yeah. Again, you have to be careful though, because like if you throw it out kind of carelessly, you get Millie Rock the way this Mai is. Nope, my fault. No engine, good. Good reaction on their part. Yeah, see those buttons that Mai was hitting me just now before the throw? They're the ones that are really good for poking. Good throw. Yep. Good throw. Oops. That was supposed to be a dive kick, but at the height I was doing it, and depending on what button I pressed, I might have probably just walked right into getting my shit pushed in. So it might have been better that that fucked up. Nope. Yeah. No, I didn't get the cancel. Unfortunate. I was probably holding a direction. I got the counter hit light punch, but I didn't get the drive rush cancel. Which means that I was probably holding a direction when I was trying to do it. Shame, but... yeah, I should be using these buttons more often. I'm trying to close too much, and that's my own fault. No wonder I'm getting stuck. I was getting complacent a little. Uembu, Shinobi Bachi. Unfortunately, not enough. So the main thing is that this Mai has a fair understanding of the fan game. Because the basic idea is, like, yeah, you want to use, if you're going to use, like, OD fan, like, using it like that is not, like, the worst thing. But this person has a tendency of, like, they kind of sometimes keep trying to force fan in spots where they have not earned the respect, kinda, so it doesn't work. Because the thing about charged fan in particular is that if you're not careful about how you space it, you are inviting people to, like, do that, for example, right? Like, you have to be very... Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? See? That's the kind of thing I mean, right? Like, they're throwing fans in way... And I don't mean that like I'm upset, but, like, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. With Mai in particular, if you're going to be throwing Kachosen is a commitment. The recovery time on the fan takes a while. You have to be very careful about where and how you put it out, because depending on the circumstance, right, you are not going to recover in time before somebody punches your shit in. And if a Kami has 3 super meters in this game, and you are standing within, like, 3/4 screen is maybe roughly the limit if you space it correctly. If you're standing within half screen of her and you throw a projectile and she has super art 3 and they can react, you're fucked. Don't do that. Not enough spacing on the burn knuckle to make it plus, but enough to make it safe. Terry's interesting because Terry is very much like a character who has like a lot of things that he can do and is very flexible. Some of his normals are just a little strange initially, but if you play him enough, you get used to it, and they help stabilize. They stabilize a lot of his conversions over time, so it's not as weird to play him as it has been previously. But he has a couple of like little, very Bogarty things. Piss off. Good, I got the toes, so that was relatively safe. Yeah, like... also like Terry a lot. I don't play him as much as I used to, in this game specifically, but he is a very fun character to play. And they did make him... I forget which patch it was with, but basically around the time that they sort of stabilized out some things with his crouching medium punch again, a lot of his weirder conversions became a little bit less daunting. And he is a character that still has like a lot of meat to like the things that he can do in particular, especially once you understand how to use him. So like, he's extremely fun. Like, I know acquaintance who is also like doing the ranked Terry climb. Ooh, okay. Need to be careful. Need to be careful. Ooh. I was trying to react with Super R3, but I didn't get it. That's my fault for jumping neutral like that. Ooh, good quick burn. And with quick burn, if Terry hits you with quick burn, it's a good setup for... this Terry's very careful, very conscientious, and I respect that. It has been very difficult to pop them with a burn knuckle. Back shoot, right, ooh. They might have been trying for SA3 there, maybe? Yep, burn knuckle. They've been really good about those burn knuckles. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Terry players who don't understand how to use burn knuckle will use it a lot and won't space it correctly. And then it becomes a thing where you kind of just like blow them up for it. But you notice how this Terry is very deliberate about using burn knuckle at that very far spacing, right? And that's very much on purpose to maximize the odds of getting it spaced at such a distance that... Yeah, there's a throw. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? With burn knuckle, if you either perfect parry it or neutral jump it at the right spacing, you blow it up. But you'll notice that this Terry is very, very deliberate about doing burn knuckle at spaces where it's very difficult for me to either react appropriately or at best I get a trade, right? And I think from the way of it and from the look of it, it's a lot of light burn knuckle. And it's always at like roughly around that spacing. Nah, too slow. That would have comboed, but I was too slow on the conversion. Go back to the corner with you. I think they should kill. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this Terry's very conscientious about where they're putting the burn knuckles. They're putting it at spots where it's difficult for me to react to it immediately. bold choice. I don't dislike it. Very bold. There we go. Slowly beginning to get my dive kick sense back. I haven't played Cammy in a while, so I've sort of lost it a little. Yeah. Quick burn. Yeah, again, like I was saying, right? Like, there are distances at which Terry can space. Nah. Ooh. If I backstep there, I might have been able to get away, but I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I could have done a backstep after getting hit with quick burn. It might be too close. Oop. Yep. Yep, fair. Quick burn. Yeah, no. Okay, when you get hit, you basically have to, you gotta guess, essentially. Yeah, I should have just waited. I should have just waited. They proved to me that they're the kind of person who will ODDP out of a tight spot. If I just waited, I could have snatched that back. It's my fault. I pushed too hard. So, one of the other things that's kind of like... One of the things that is very important... I don't talk about player psychology as much as I used to on Fighting Friday, and I should do more of that. So, the thing about player psychology in fighting games is that the idea behind player psychology is that as you're fighting against somebody, you try to, you don't want to get a, you'll never get like a perfect model of what it is that they're planning on doing or how it is that they're planning on doing the thing. You're not looking to get a perfect model. But what you're looking to do is to identify specific spots where they are very likely to do very specific things. And then take advantage of that accordingly, right? So if you notice that somebody likes to like wake up, if you notice somebody likes to like wake up parry a lot, the thing that you might start doing is like wake up throws, right? If you notice that you knock somebody down and like to ODDP a lot, you start to shimmy more often, or what have you, right? To deliberately kind of like bait them into response, or like you'll shimmy and throw a normal outside of their actual punish range or whatever, right? Piss off. Yeah. I need to be careful because it is a modern Ken means that I can get popped by if I jump in too much, I will get popped by DPs a lot more. Nope. Made it a little too obvious what you wanted to do there, buddy. Nope. Nope. I respect it though. So that's the heuristic I'm talking about, right? Like, this Ken has not presented to me a lot of like wake up DPs. Modern Ken players. Sorry, that's not actually true. Modern players are not necessarily statistically more likely to do a one and done than classic players are. Both do it. It's a psychology thing, not a play stuff. It's not a control scheme thing, it's a player psychology thing. Anyway. Thank you so much for the follow. Our follow alerts are anonymous. So if you follow, you can kind of sit and chill and you don't have to say much of anything if you're not really in the mood for it. Welcome to the Gauge Gang. I hope you enjoy your stay. Oh, it's a Cammy Mirror. Okay, Cammy Mirror is interesting because I haven't talked very much about like how Cammy herself specifically works. Cammy is basically strike throw mix and trying to entice people to let you dive kick them, the character, the movie, the game. That's pretty much her thing. Cammy has gimmicks, so I want to be careful that when I say like things like Cammy has like gimmicks or gimmickry, I'm not saying these necessarily like, oh, like a gimmick is a bad thing, etc. Right? I'm talking about like things that can like draw a reaction out of people when they're not expecting it. Is usually what I mean by gimmick. Cammy does not have a lot of those. Well, she has a few, right? But like at a particular level of play that I'm at now, having people with Cammy gimmicks is very difficult. Cammy gimmicks are things like, oh yeah, OD spin knuckles switches sides if you do it close. Heavy spin knuckles plus on block if people block it, right? A lot of playing against another Cammy player is essentially a question of who knows enough bullshit, basically, and how much of that bullshit you can enforce. And most importantly, do you understand Cammy well enough to know when you are fighting a Cammy that is overextended? Those are pretty much like all of the hallmarks of how you have to do the Cammy Mirror as a Cammy player. It's really all down to like I'm dead. And I sort of recognize it, but not enough to like stay ahead, really. How to describe how this person is playing specifically. It's not like in a bad way. I'm just trying to figure out how to describe it. Because the thing I know I always have a hard time with is that I have a hard time breaking open other Cammys, mostly because their spacing tends to be really on point. And it's usually very difficult to find one that slips enough to like let me in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Also, there is a gap. If they do standing heavy punch, standing heavy kick, they do that target combo, and then they try to like dive kick you. There is a gap. Yeah, that's good. And that's also like as Cammy, for example, like as Cammy, for example, like you cannot present dive kick too often because then like what happened to me there will happen to you. Thank you for that. That's free. So yeah, like as Cammy, it comes down to who can like control like this, like that stuff is what it comes down to. And also like making sure that you pick your punishes to optimize your positioning is very important as Cammy, because if you don't do that, you have a hard time. Also, when you're fighting against the other thing about fighting against Cammy, essentially speaking, if your anti-airs are really good, you have sort of sorted out most of your problems. The other part is that you then have to adjust to specifically how that Cammy likes to dive kick. That's the hard part. Yeah, and and this is what I meant by like optimizing your punishes really well as Cammy, because you'll notice that Cammy did the punish and put me in the corner, right? And that's the main thing. At that distance, them doing the round start spiral arrow was not the worst decision they could have made. It's safe at round start if you do like right spiral arrow. I need to be careful because they may be expecting that at some point. So let's see here. Yeah. I'm not dead, but I do lose the drive advantage and I'm close to the corner. It's not ideal. Okay, so that's DI safe. That's good to know. I didn't know if that was DI safe or not. It's not jab safe. I could have jabbed that and it would have been fine. But it's good to know. So that's the kind of thing that I mean, right? It's like, that's why I was like, oh, I'm not going to say Cammy is an honest character with no gimmicks, but her gimmicks are very specific, and her gimmicks are very specific in a certain way, and because you're not worrying about things like standing overheads or what have you, it mostly just comes down to how well can you watch the way she moves and respond accordingly. If you do that well against a Cammy, you're usually okay. She moves very quickly, so it's not like it's like, oh yeah, I can wall her out forever. You can wall her out if you understand the way that she's moving and place your buttons accordingly. But if you're not placing your buttons accordingly, you're not paying attention to how she moves, you're in the shit. Jamie, I want to say, kind of has a similar thing going on. With the added caveat that he does have things like standing overheads and things like that. Unfortunate time to pick to do that. A good drink. With one drink, Jamie should be able to do dive kick. At 2 drinks, he does normal damage and has Bakai. So yeah, like Jamie's main thing is that like he also likes to play at sort of like similar ranges to Cammy, except like the main thing is that because he has things like standing overheads and he has like other moves that he unlocks as he gets more drunk, and his standing heavy punch, which is quite literally, when I say it, is a natural drive impact destroyer. It's not like hyperbole. Like it hits 3 times, so he will fuck you up if you try to DI him at the wrong time. I haven't played him in a bit. He's most played. Yeah, like Jamie. Drink 1. Yeah. Safe jump. Drink 2. Yeah. Standing heavy punch hits 3 times. He can also. Yeah. There's also that, right? Like he has. Like the last hit of it is in drive rush cancelable, but like the first 2 hits are, and it's like. Yeah. So like he has ways of basically just like breaking your drive impacts open and stuff like that if you're fucking around and not paying attention. It can be very difficult to deal with. Yeah, see, he has the standing overhead. So that's why I was like, his game plan in some aspects is very similar to Cammy's, but he has a standing overhead. So it's one of those things where it's like, because he has a standing overhead, it is very easy for him, if you're not minding where you block, for him to like pop the standing overhead, surprise you, and then it's like, well, aha, lol. Ooh, good jump. 1 drink. 2 drinks. Normal damage. Alright. Yeah, this Jamie is very circumspect and is very careful with where they're pressing buttons and where they're putting themselves. Jink 3. Ooh, lucky. If I hadn't gotten over them with that neutral jump, I would have been in a bad spot. I need to poke with these buttons a little more. Nope. I messed up and didn't do the spiral arrow. Yeah, drink 3 is scared. Yeah. So, I was alluding to it before, but as Miriam is saying, every time Jamie gets a drink, he unlocks a move and extra damage. At drink level 3, he has a command throw that basically just it's heavily scaled afterward, but it becomes a reset. Yeah, like now. So now there are block strings that Jamie can and will do where he does the block string, lol, command throw is in there, you eat shit. Yeah, I was about to say, that shit hits though. Yeah, I'm cooked. Oh, but it's not match yet. It's not match yet. They might have gone too heavy. If I'm careful, I can run this back. You gotta spend meter to make meter, but this Jamie hasn't dive kicked at all. Really. Very interesting. Second drink. Yeah, they're not doing OD arrow kick, so I think... Yeah, I just need to... There we go. It occurred to me partway through that it's like, oh, this person has not done OD arrow kick at all on my wake up. I can use that to push my advantage a little bit in ways that I have not been. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Unfortunate. Dive kick can be super... Yeah, Jamie's dive kick in particular does have a little bit of a wind-up time for people who don't know. So does Cammy's now, but Jamie's is a little more noticeable. So if he's not careful when he throws it, you just anti-air him and he eats shit. There we go, OD arrow kick. Ooh. I should be dead now. Yeah. At 2 drinks, Jamie... So, without drinks, Jamie does 90% damage, I want to say. So he's so yeah, with 2 drinks in, he's at 100. Nah, I should have just done it while I was on the ground. Sip. Ooh, what a reaction! What a reaction! I respect that. That was a good reaction. Oh, they tried to perfect parry that. I would have been fucked. I'm not dead. It's gonna hurt. If it was Jamie at 4 drinks, I would have been a lot more worried about it. Yeah, just enough. It's fine. I gotta hold that. Yeah, that was a good reaction on their part, and I was not giving that. Hazardous travel set for Sunday, Monday. Okay, I need to go grocery shopping again tomorrow before that all sets in then, because that sounds like Sunday and Monday are going to be kind of gross, so I need to get ahead of that. Yeah, Jamie had really good reactions and was really, really clean about the pokes. Dive kicks, very careful and deliberate pokes and stuff like that. Let's see how this Akuma rolls. Nope, that's my fault. They were walking backwards. If somebody's walking backwards, don't fucking do spin knuckle. Okay. Yep, Tatsu. Alright. Plus, can't do anything about that. Risky, but nope, didn't want to do that. Unfortunate. Really, all they really had to do at some point there was just swing on a fucking ODDP and they would have fucking cooked me. But they didn't. They hesitated. Alright, let's see. Nope. Alright, now I know what I'm looking for. I can probably answer a little more carefully. Stop it! I'm not out of the woods yet, though. It's Akuma. So for context, for people who don't know, because it's been a while since we played Street Fighter 6, Akuma has the lowest health in the game at 9,000 health. However, the compensation that he has for that is that he is an incredibly aggressive and very, yeah, they even picked the name Goki. I respect it. Like, extremely strong, I'm manifesting it energy. Ooh. Damn. Fireball. Need to be careful here. I don't need to push too hard. No, yeah. So, the thing about Akuma is that while he has the lowest health in the game, with a player who is skilled enough, it doesn't matter that much in the literal sense of, like, Akuma's offense is extremely aggressive. So if you are like Goki here, where you have a pretty good understanding of like how much of your luck you can press, you eat people. Yeah, we're back on Discord. Gilded blew up because at some point after it got acquired by Roblox, eventually Roblox was like, nah, we don't want this. And so yeah, I didn't delete it. I didn't delete the old one. It's just that, you know, archived. So yeah. So yeah, we're back on Discord. We're probably gonna stay there for the foreseeable future. I know that there are some other people who are like trying to like spin up alternatives, but at this particular point, literally, unless Discord does some shit that's really fucked up with whatever IPO they come up with, like at this point, I'm not entertaining moving again unless it's an absolute necessity. So, yeah, we're on Discord, and they're probably staying there for the time being. Yep. Yeah, Zont. Yeah, this Akuma understands how to press their luck in the right ways, and this is why like a lot of people are like, Akuma having less health is not really like a deficit, because like his offense is still really good, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, you're not wrong, but by the same token, you also have to like keep in mind that it's a thing where this is all dependent on the Akuma player being able to keep up that pressure and like do proper callouts and stuff. If they cannot do that, if the Akuma cannot keep up the pressure correctly, then what happens is the fact that he cannot trade for hits, especially, I'll put it like this. This is the way I'll put it. That sequence could have killed a lot of other characters. Akuma has such a lower margin of error that there are many more situations in which a sequence like that will fuck him up and ruin his day. You would think Akuma would have more health. Well, the reason why he's traditionally had less is because of the way that his toolkit works, right? We can talk like fighting game design philosophy here for a little bit. Because of the way Akuma's toolkit is generally set up, I'm gonna eat so much shit here. When Discord was a shiny better replacement for everything that is old is new again. But yeah, like Akuma, like the way that his toolkit is basically extremely versatile and allows him to basically pump out shit tons of damage if you understand it correctly. Yeah, Stubby's correct. Like that's essentially it. they kind of like represent like the whole raw muscle thing by virtue of the way that like I messed up, but it's okay. I made it work. Yeah, like basically they reflect the fact that he's muscular as fuck with the fact that like an Akuma that understands how to pilot him correctly will just kind of kick your shit in because the offensive pressure does not stop, and etc. etc. Again, though, like the trade-off is that you have to be really confident in your ability to like assert yourself as Akuma. If you can't do it, if you cannot do it, then basically every hit that you eat becomes every hit that you eat basically means that you are incredibly close to like getting your shit pushed in a way that you cannot sustain. Yeah, if I neutral jumped or forward jumped, I would have been okay there. Yep. Unfortunately, his party starter, that standing heavy kick, you have to be careful as Akuma how you throw it out, because if you throw it out too often and someone's like, well, I'm just gonna duck, you kind of eat shit, basically. Yep, good fireball. But yeah, if you block both hits of standing heavy kick, you're kind of forced to hold that. This is not going to kill, but I want to threaten the damage, get some drive gauge back, and do that. That's the kind of thing that I mean about Cammy gimmicks, right? Like, if you know that Cammy, when she does like light spiral arrow after like super art or even critical art, if she uses the correct spiral arrow, she's usually spaced enough to be safe. You can react to that if you know it's coming or if you suspect it's coming and you're queuing it, but it's like you essentially have to react to guess it correctly. So if it's something that you keep in your back pocket and you don't do it a lot, you're usually okay, right? But that's the kind of thing when I was saying earlier that like Cammy's gimmicks are all very like feast or famine. That's the kind of thing that I mean, right? Like you're putting yourself in situations where you gotta, oh hey, it's Ed. Chemical catalyst. So Ed's main thing is that he is a boxer that likes to sort of like fight at mid-range, right? He has those flicker jabs of his. To throw. And he can use it so that he doesn't necessarily have to commit to strikes at close range. So like flicker jabs. You can use the flicker jabs that he has, as well as like the proper psycho flicker, that purple move that he does. Unfortunately for him, he has to be very careful about how he uses it because it is very susceptible to drive impact if he uses it incorrectly. One thing that Ed does benefit from is that the nature of his moveset. That's rare. The nature of Ed's moveset makes it so that like. That was a good one. The nature of Ed's moveset makes it so that it is very easy for him, if he gets a conversion off of a flicker or something else, his Okizeme game, where he is like approaching you after you're knocked down, is really good. It is very easy for him to set up a lot of situations where if his, like he basically runs the Oki or runs situations where at mid-range, you kind of eat shit against him. Yeah, like that, right? So like after Psycho Blitz, for example, like Drive Rush, whatever, or even his kill switch dash, right? And if you call out the wrong flicker, this happens to you, right? Like purple flicker, is very susceptible to being drive impacted, especially if he charges it up. But because you cannot tell which version of it he's using when he charges it, the approach is very difficult. Also, the other thing is that his that move is his reversal DP. His like reversal. Unfortunately for Ed, his reversal it's not great. Yep. Yeah. I'm not dead, but I lose drive advantage significantly now, and I'm close to the corner, if not in the corner. And now, Ed. Yep. Yeah, you see with the flicker jabs how it's like actually getting part of like getting into a position where I can like leverage against him is very, very difficult because of the fact that like, oh yeah, I'm just getting swatted by all of this stuff. It is very like trying to fight back against Ed at that mid-range specifically is very tricky, right? Yeah, like actually sort of like being in a position where you can like punch back against Ed when he's doing the proper stuff at mid-range is very difficult. He will sit on top of you in ways that make it very difficult to contest that if you're careless. Good though. Ooh, unfortunate. Alright. Oops. Good throw. Oh, that was unfortunate. You pushed a little too hard, buddy. If he'd woken up with Super Art 1 or Super Art 2, I would have eaten a bunch of shit there. But that would have been a hard prediction on their part. Like when I say hard, I mean in the sense like they would have like hard read. Ooh, what's that? Good for damage and to put me in the corner. Ooh, it didn't react to the jive impact that time. Sure you can. Sure you can. Yeah, I'm not dead yet, but yeah, I don't think I'm getting out of this one. Yeah. Yeah, I got cooked. It happens. Alright, let's see here. Oh! Oh! That would have been nasty. Give me that, though. Didn't I? Yeah. You don't have the meter. What are you doing? Yeah. Ooh. At least I jumped, so I didn't get hit by all of it. Still hurt, but, like, it could have been worse. I gotta try to... Yeah. I think I can run it back. I think I have a better feeling if they want to run it back. Okay. I think I have a better feeling, but I have to think about it a little more. I gotta call out those dragon lashes though. That's always been like the hard thing for me, especially against like Ken players. Here we go. Yeah. So the thing about Dragon Lash is that it is plus on block. The thing is that the thing about like drive impacting in particular is that you can drive impact it. That's a link, I guess, huh? I don't know if I did it first. No, they did. Yeah. So the thing about Heavy Dragon Lash that it is very much plus on block. If you can't like DI it, jabbing it or neutral jumping roughly at the spot when it comes out is basically your best way to deal with it. But Ken players who think more carefully about the tactical use of it understand this and will not. Yeah. So the right answer there would not have been a drive impact, it would have been a jab. So like the main thing is that while Heavy Dragon Lash is really, really mean and really, really strong in that case, in that scenario, the main flaw is if you are close enough to Ken, you can jab him out of it in most situations. Or if you've got a good anti-air attack, like you got the reaction for it, you can like react with like ODDP or just like even a DP period and just snipe him. So yeah, mostly I've been talking a lot about like my opponents and not very much about things I need to work on. For me personally, I know that like my sense of when and where to dive kick is a little bit worse than it used to be back when I was like doing. I accidentally pressed buttons I didn't mean to. Like my sense for dive kicking is a little bit worse than it used to be. And so, and my anti-airs are still really not great. Ideal. My anti-airing is really not that great. I still don't recognize I don't recognize a lot when jump ins are coming, and a large part of what I struggle with, no matter what character I'm using, is like responding to that appropriately. Yeah. Whew. Made it. Also, Ryu, whether modern or classic, is incredibly scary in this game. Ryus scare me a lot. Some of them are just like this Ryu. Okay, I don't mean this as an insult. This Ryu is like gorilla unga bunga as fuck, and yeah, I do not mean that as an insult. It is a viable playstyle for Ryu in this game to kind of just like do like ignorant shit, and you can in fact get away with it. again, like I'm not saying that as like a diss to this Ryu specifically. It's just that like with a lot of the buffs that he's gotten, doing ignorant shit will actually get you very far if you know how to push your luck. However, fundamentals Ryu is also incredibly strong in this game still. Because basically, this is sort of what's happened. Traditionally, Ryu has been a very like all-rounder, and he's not an all-rounder, to be clear, right? Like the changes he's gotten have not made him less of an all-rounder, but Ryu has generally traditionally been an all-rounder.
Beginning operation.
Has been an all-rounder at the cost of then it's like, okay, yeah, you got to play him honest, or there's like not, because there's not that much that you can do otherwise, right? And the main thing is that in this game, as like the seasons have been going on, they basically just kind of like done the thing where they decided Ryu's thing is that he just does a shit ton of damage. So you can still play him like very fundamentals heavy, the way that Miriam is talking about, and you get the best benefits from it, really. Because what happens is, if you're clean with your fundamentals and you're not always doing like ape shit stuff, then what winds up happening is you get to capitalize immensely on just like absolutely kicking the shit out of people when your fundamentals leave them wide open. Like with clean fundamentals playing as Ryu, what basically happens is like people fuck around and find out real fast why giving Ryu a leg is like one of the worst things you can do. No. Nah, it's too close. Nah, Oh, that was cute. So that's the thing, right? I'm also aware of the fact that like my Cammy is extremely basic. I don't know a lot of like Punk has a lot of like really interesting little micro tricks for optimizing Cammy. This Cammy player is doing a lot of like that little. I don't know any of that shit. I kind of just rely on. I also don't move nearly as much as I should. Yeah, not dead, but they are gonna get some drive gauge back, and I am in an uphill fight now. Yeah, I'm at the disadvantage for drive gauge by just a little bit. Yeah, they've got the pokes and spacing really tight. It's going to be a little bit difficult to try to open them up. So, like basically, I'm going to have to get lucky off of them doing swing combination stuff a bunch when they really shouldn't be, and they're gonna start doing less of that, I feel like. Roll arrow. That's not free. I have to stand up and jab that. The problem is that I keep crouch jabbing, and that's why they keep hitting me with that. Basically, if I had stopped crouch jabbing whenever they did that, I would be okay. But know that another thing I'm not doing is I'm not really using all of my normals to like the degree that I could be. This Cammy has a better sense of doing that than I do, and this is part of why I'm having problems. Good. I have to eat damage, and I'm close to the corner. I'm at drive disadvantage. We'll see what they do. Nope, I didn't recover in time.
You're in my way.
Yeah.
Cammy wins.
Yeah, I had no shot to get. Well, no, I could have gotten out if I was willing to risk like a drive reversal at the correct time, but I did not do that.
A new warrior has entered the ring.
All right, let's see. It's 10:05 now. I'm thinking about it.
Ready yourself.
No mercy for you.
Round one. Fight.
Ooh, I made it over, but I wasn't close enough to follow correctly. Yeah, ideally, when Akuma's throwing fireballs at a situation like that, right? Ideally speaking, the thing that you would like to do is actually neutral jump rather than like dive parry, because the main thing is that while one fireball is on screen, another fireball cannot be on screen, right? And so the thing that neutral jumping a fireball does is that it locks. It doesn't stop Akuma's offense cold, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to worry about another fireball for a while. Drive pairing a fireball causes it to stay on, like to disappear from the screen, which means that Akuma is then free to throw another fireball quicker. So ideally, it is better to jump over a fireball than to block it, if you can help it. The next best thing is to attempt to go through it, but they did nerf that with Cammy. Cammy's Spin Knuckle is basically her anti-fireball tool, but now it is as an anti-fireball tool. It is not that it is not useful, but that you have to have an extremely hard read to really make it work. It is very difficult as a button to make work otherwise. Ooh. Already starter. I did it second. You lose. And this is where the whole thing I was saying about Akuma's health in this game specifically is a little bit more of a weakness than it normally is. The thing about Street Fighter 6 is that, especially as far as like damage goes, and Miriam will probably have some degree. Miriam can probably also weigh in on this a little bit, as one of the other people who's at least active in chat who I know has played a lot of this game. This game has, like, damage swings are very, very high in this game. So it's one of those things where, like, Akuma having not a lot of health, or having less health than most characters in this game is specifically an issue because of the fact that, like, damage swings really heavy in this game. So, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, normally a lot of people are like, yeah, Akuma having less health is not actually that much of a weakness because of how absolutely cracked his kid is most of the time, and that's true. But in this game especially, like, with the way that damage swings, like, yeah, like, with the way damage swings, you have to be extremely confident in your ability to control him and what you're doing, or you will get shat on. Like, as an example, like, his flexibility probably makes Marisa gives Marisa a really hard time as the Marisa player. But if that Marisa puts even like hands on you like twice, 3 times maybe, depending on the interactions, you kind of just eat shit as Akuma because Marisa shits damage. Yeah, and I want to be careful about like those forward jumps over fireballs specifically. I don't know if I would have done that. The reason why I say that is because, okay, this Akuma is good enough that like in this situation where I'm loaded for bear and they're not, I could still conceivably lose the run back. But now, okay, at least for me, right? Like I don't, unless I absolutely don't have a choice to try to secure a round, I don't like to burn my super meter before round 3 in most circumstances. Which is, so I'm probably a little too conservative for this game, realistically, but you know. Okay, they don't know the thing. So, like, again, as an example of like one of Cammy's gimmicks, oh, they wanted to fight in the custom room. I'm sorry. Normally people quit, so I just normally just like match and go on to the next thing usually. I'm just like, oh. But yeah. And it's actually kind of refreshing, all things considered, because traditionally in Street Fighter games, right? Like, Cammy would normally, if the baseline health is like 1,000 in a Street Fighter game, Cammy would sometimes have like 950 or 9 whatever, or what have you, right? Especially in the games where she's really good. But in this game, Cammy is actually at average health. Pretty much the majority of the characters are. Honda and Marisa have 10,500 from the baseline of 10,000, and Zangief has 11,000. Akuma has 9,000. So to sort of like emphasize that when I say he has like the lowest health in this game, I'm not joking. Akuma literally is 1,000 health under the baseline in this game. In a game where characters who have traditionally been only a little bit higher up on him than him on that board are not in this game. They have more health than he does. But when you do shit like this, it matters less. Again, I know I keep saying it a lot, but I think it's kind of important. Like, the thing about Akuma is that, like, because of the fact that, like, he has such an expansively strong toolkit in the general sense of, like, the offensive options that you can bring to bear, like, god damn it. I'm not dead yet, but it's close. Party starter. Yeah, even if they just like done Wake Up Super Art 1, I would have eaten all the shit there. Fireball. Yeah, and that's why you want to be careful about like jumping forward over fireballs at certain distances, because like that shit happens. Oh, I might have gotten hit. Yeah, because I jabbed. Damn it! I'm hurt, but I still have the drive advantage, and I'm not the one in the corner. They are. Ah, damn it. I messed up. I choked a little bit. I should have gone for something that would have been like a nice combo. Cancel it quick, because I nearly threw that because I choked. Yeah. And you see those walkbacks before the fireball? It's him like bait spin knuckle, mostly. So. Unfortunately, choosing to do overhead at that particular distance, not the best idea. Damn! I was doing really good with the anti-air DPs, and I messed up the input that time, and I dropped it. It didn't come out. Yeah, I see those walkbacks to do that. That's why he was doing that. Damn. Misread the spacing by just a little bit. Yeah. And yeah, like, because Akuma has things like Demon Flip and all that other stuff, like, this is why, like... Yeah, that's my fault. I said even before, oh yeah, like, he's walking back the bait. I shouldn't be doing spin knuckle because of the walk back. I just need to fucking walk at people a little bit more. This mate. Yeah, no. Maybe if I'd walked forward a little bit, I don't know if his Demon Flip hitbox would have... I don't know if the push box would have kept me from walking under him or not. Party starter. Yep. Atsu. Alright. There we go. Party starter is me. Perish. I'm not dead, but it's going to hurt a lot. However, Akuma's burned out. I lost because of that. Never happens, but because Akuma was up around, I lost. Basically, and yeah, that's the thing about him, right? Like, he'll fucking catch you out. He'll catch you out if he just kind of like knows where to do the thing.
Now, find a new rival.
Jury is interesting. So, there was a point at which I described Chun-Li, Jury, and Cammy as sort of like the 3 points of their own little triangle, in the same way that like Ryu, Ken, and Luke each form theirs, where like Luke is more about the mid-range, Ken is really offensive, and Ryu is an all-rounder who kind of prefers the defensive position. It's not a one-to-one, but I sort of think of Jury as like the Ken between those three, in the sense that like a lot of her kit focuses on aggression and being on top of people, and in that sense she's very much like Ken by comparison. He also has like one of basically the best drive rushes in the game, which can be very intimidating to deal with if you're not used to it. Like, she'll green slime at you and be in your face from like halfway across the screen almost immediately, especially with some of her farther reaching almost like give her enough momentum to like really capitalize. Very scary. Yeah, good throw. Probably at the bottom of the hour I think we'll stop. Ah, they hit me with the one and done. That's a shame. Yeah. Here a good catalyst valve and have a catalyst. This is how resistant. Alright, let's see here. SPK on Hell KOF. I respect it. Okay. Yeah, okay, no, this Terry is not fucking around. That shouldn't have been able to... Literally a KOF player who's fighting thinks she fighting because Terry's in it. Yeah. And like I said, like I was saying before, especially once they started like adjusting some of the weirder stuff that he had going on in this game specifically, he became a lot more, especially for this game, he became a lot scarier. The cross punch worked one. Yeah, I try really hard not to think about City of the Wolves. I try really hard not to. And it's a shame because I played it when it was in open beta on this channel. I was looking forward to like pre-ordering it and everything. And then like at least the first time I heard of Ronaldo, I'm like, that's weird, but whatever, I guess I might still play it. And then I understood specifically the issues with, like, you know, why it's bad that Ronaldo is in there. And then considering, like, you know, who has the majority, and it's one of those things where the way I've talked about it now is that even when I was playing KOF 15, the person who has the majority shares now still had them then, right? Like, that was there. And that would have honestly been reason enough to stop playing it a while ago, really, or like stop playing SNK games a while ago, all things considered. But like, and it is a thing where it's like, yeah, I am complicit in choosing not to stop when I could have. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, that's the part where I'm just like, now it's one of those things where like, okay, yeah, like now Street Fighter's in the situation where now it's like the same shit, different day, right? But yeah, like, so I sort of exist in the position of like, for me personally, right, like, about the most that I do at this particular point is like, yeah, like I'm not gonna be, yeah, for me explicitly Ronaldo was the breaking point, right? And now at this point, with the way things are with them currently, aside from like the current owner thing, blah blah blah, we're not getting into that, right? But like now it's also like someone up there above the I'm assuming that the development team is not lying about this part, right? Dev team was like, this new trailer with all of the slop in it, we didn't approve that. We weren't up on that. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so now at this point, someone above their heads now is also saying, do this and throw slop. Yeah. And it's just really fucked up. So now it's just like, at this point, it's like, no, I just kind of got to leave SNK alone. At least from up close, right? Like, if you're like, do you still like King of Fighters? Like, yeah, I love King of Fighters. I would play King of Fighters gladly, but like, thinking about like the way and where I want to stand, it's like, nah, at this point, I gotta let it be. But I still love KOF like a lot. I miss playing it on this channel. But it's just one of those things where it's like, again, because like you said, people are weird about it, and it's like I didn't want to have to like relitigate the conversation more than I felt comfortable with if I was like playing it on stream and someone was like, hey, don't you know that this? Yeah, my angle is more the, yeah, exactly, right? And that's the thing, right? Like, the part that's killing me is that, like, in any other situation, literally the fact that City of the Wolves is like, yeah, Jae-hoon for Season 2. I'm like, absolutely here for that. I love Kim Jae-hoon. Next to Hotaru, he's one of my favorite characters in Mark of the Wolves. Right? Like, I'm here for Kim Jae-hoon. But, like, they fucked this up so badly that it's like, yeah, like, even Ken being in City of the Wolves is not enough to like get Street Fighter players to play City of the Wolves. And it's like, no Chun-Li either, and that, like, if that's not like a comedy of fucking errors in the literal biblical sense, I don't know what is, right? What? And that's a shame, right? Because, like, again, if anything, putting Ronaldo and City of the Wolves yeah, no, it was absolutely, no, it was, right? Again, I don't want to get too deep into like the ownership thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, it makes it very clear that like the current owners are like, yeah, you're gonna do what we say. Sports watch, like games watching, baby. Like, it's very, the stink of it now is very apparent, on top of the fact that, you know, like, Ronaldo is a fucking sex pest. But, you know, let me not get into that anymore, because I will literally just get upset about that and just be here all day. So yeah, my personal plan is, as far as like fighting Friday stuff, because for right now, Street Fighter 6 is basically the only thing that I've like really felt really motivated to play. I don't dislike Grand Blue vs. Rising, but until they give me a character who's a monk in that game, I have to play Narmaya, and I don't dislike Narmaya, but Narmaya is work to play, and I want somebody who punches, and I don't want it to be Soris. I would just like a cute monk lady to play in the thing. And like for me, yeah, like for me specifically, Strive, I'm gonna go back to Strive when Jam is in it. And I know that Jam is going to be in it at some point during Strive 2.0, but these cheeky bastards at ArcSys were like, oh yeah, when Strive 2.0 initially drops, we're gonna put one character in. Which one character? We don't know yet. So it could be either Robo-Kai or it could be Jam. I don't know which one of them it is, but it's one of those two, because those are the people that were in the trailer. And if they put Robo-Kai in before Jam, I'm gonna be pissed, and then I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Because, like, I'm just... It's not even that it's like, oh, I don't like Sin or I don't like Elfel and Strive. I do like both of them, but I don't like either of them nearly as much as I like Jam. I am a ride or die Jam player. And I know a lot of people have opinions about Strive, and the way in which it's not Guilty Gear or whatever. Most of these people probably don't wash their asses anyway, so I'm kind of like whatever. This is not to say that you're not allowed to dislike Guilty Gear Strive, but like Guilty Gear Strive isn't Guilty Gear. It's like, yes, it is. I appreciate Strive for what it is, and I want something that exactly right. Like you can go play the other games, right? And that's exactly the thing. Especially because like Miller, Pat the Flip has literally proven that like just because the game is older doesn't mean it doesn't have a seed. Like literally, this community is why like Play Rev Tuesday is even a thing, right? And like Plus R is a little bit too loose for me, and I can't quite play it exactly the way I would like. I'm okay at Plus R, but like playing Jam and Plus R takes a lot of work and it makes my brain hurt. I can do it slightly better in Rev 2, but it's still a little tricky. There we go. Oh, I forgot which Cammy I was. I thought I was on player 1 side, despite the fact that... No. Wrong version. Good throw. Yeah. This Cammy's got good movement. You saw that little like step, that little move back, and then the crouching medium kick. Yeah. Damn. Good throw. Nope. Spiral arrow. Ooh. That could have been a canceled Super R3 if they were on the ball. Good throw. There we go, we got it. Whew. Yeah, and the reason why I play ranked is, like, for me, mostly... I gotta hop back on Street Fighter 6, yeah. I haven't played Viper at all. Yeah, I got Viper to Master Rank near the end of last year, just to kind of like feel it out. I like her, but I like playing as her, but she is admittedly the APM and execute, well, not APM really. The execution specifically is a little too tight for me to like stay with her. So I did it mostly to get an understanding of like how she plays, but like you gotta be clean for Viper, and I'm not. She is really fun though. I think that they did a very good job of translating a lot of the things that make Viper into this game. They did that very well. Especially with stuff like the feint cancels and all of that is all very sick. I feel, yeah, for me personally, I particularly happen to think that, like, with Street Fighter 6 in particular, I feel like Capcom is beginning to get to the point where they have started to like the way think cancels work is like they stole it from Street Fighter 4. Yeah, I feel the type of way, huh? Suffice it to say, I'm going back to KO for a second, but just forgive me. There was a thing with the way that like Vanessa's EX Puncher Vision follow-ups work. Some of them where I'm like, it feels like they were looking at a certain version of her from Mugen that I happen to be very familiar with in order to get that out. And I'm like, it's probably just a coincidence, and we just happen to have like the same sicko brainwave. But you know. Good throw. Alright, hang on, I gotta try to like focus up for like half a second and not get my shit pushed in. Yeah, there we go. I messed up that meaty. I should have just done crouching heavy punch again. So spiral arrow. Ooh. Yeah. I gotta work out. Yeah. So essentially speaking, the things I know I need to work out with Cammy, I need to work my spacing better, and I need to, especially like my heavy norm. I don't use like my heavy normals a lot. For poking, I tend to use like my mediums and occasionally my lights. And this is causing issues in other aspects. No. Spiral arrow. Damn. Yeah, they went for the max. They went for like the max damage catch up that they could pull out there. I respect it because I got fucking cooked. I messed up the DP input. I started it, but I didn't finish it quite right. That lets them get some drive back. I mostly eat a shit ton of damage. I think we're either even or no. I'm at the disadvantage. Nah, I fucked it up. Yeah. That was a good one on that part. Yeah, it's been almost 3 hours. So we can probably call it here. I wasn't planning on streaming until this late, but I was just like, yeah, let's let it rip. This has been a minute. So let me go see who we can go hang out with. I appreciate y'all coming by. It's good to see you again, Miriam. I will be back again with stream on Sunday. I think we may try the new time of 6 p.m. Eastern time for Sunday. We're gonna be playing more Lost Kingdoms 2. So if you're in for like seeing games that from FromSoft that are not the type of FromSoft game you normally think of when you think of FromSoft, you come join me, play some Lost Kingdoms 2, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I think I was thinking about waiting until February to make the decision, but I think I want to do 6 to 9 Wednesday, both. Sorry, 6 to 9 both Friday and Sunday. U.S. Eastern Time. It's like GMT minus 4 or 5, depending on whether or not what's it called is on. Depending on whether or not daylight savings time is on. But yeah, we'll be playing Lost Kingdoms 2 next week. We'll be doing some other stuff. All right, 2xk. If 2xk would put a call in, I might have said yes, but I'm not feeling it. Anyway, so here's the links and stuff. Unless are you broken? Are you broken? My Stream Deck? Is this what's happening now? All right, hold on. Yeah, this bummy bum thing is bummy busted. All right, I gotta do it this way. Okay, thank you, Stream Deck. You were being weird and it was getting on my nerves. Remind me later. Alright. So links. At some point, I'm probably going to get off of NeoCities as a blog and go on like Ghost or something, but I haven't figured it out yet. I have some posts on there if you want to read them. Stream VODs go up on YouTube. Ko-Fi if you want to support me in the stream, if you want to help support my winter rent drive. I have started a new job. So that is helping out, but I don't get paid until February 1st. So if you can throw a little bit toward the Winter Rent Drive, you can go on Ko-Fi and do it that way. Any money that you put in there gets put in here. If you really want to like do like stream gift giving, then you can do that, but you know, don't have to. I am also the co-founder of a games studio called Munity. We are working on a shmup called Shootlancer. You can play it at that itch page over there, and also join our Discord over there. Starting on the 30th of January, we are going to be releasing Discord-specific playtest builds for Discord members to enjoy. So if you're interested in Shootlancer and want to know more about it, please join the Community Fleet Discord, either by going to our main website or going to our itch page and doing it from over there. And then, as noted before, we are back on Discord. That's the Discord link. Keep in mind that unless I happen to like know you from when you were in before, or if I know you from another community, you get in faster. But if you are completely new and I do not know you, you do have to like read the rules, do some vetting in order to make sure that we keep the community safe. It is very important to me that we take care of our community members like that. So yeah, that's all I got. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you go outside. If you're in the United States and you are in the winter weather danger zone, please be careful. I hope that you have done, if you can, any shopping that you can. I'm going to do a little bit extra tomorrow myself, just to kind of make sure that we are safe going into, I'm stocked up going into the winter storm this weekend. So yeah, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you go outside, be excellent to each other, but not the bigots, racist, terrorists, sexist, anti-queer folks, or fascists. Remember, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia, and Haiti must all be free. None of us free till all. Look out for each other, take care of each other in the ways that you can. Go out into your community if you can. Look out for each other in the little ways that you can. Honestly, remember also that, like, surviving is also resistance, too. So, just do what you can. And that's really all I have to say. We're going to go hang out with the President Noir, who has just rebranded, actually, to Prez. So, this is our raid message. Currently, he's playing some Cult of the Lamb, I guess because, like, new update came out. So he's playing some Cult of the Lamb, having him a chill time. So we're going to go hang out with Prez and just kind of be chill. Please come along with us for the raid. Support him. SGH is raid. This is the raid message. Throw in whatever emotes you like. They don't have to be my emotes. Keep them appropriate. Alright. If you join us on Discord, we are going to be watching some Kamen Rider build tomorrow. We do that on Saturdays. We'll be watching some Kamen Rider Build tomorrow in the evening time around 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we talk and do other stuff. So, wherever I see you, whenever I see you, take care. Thanks for coming by stream. Till next time. Later.